So now the most awaited question for all veterinarians, I think, that despite being a veterinary graduate, you took a non-veterinary subject, and it is a big decision, I think, because we studied for 5 years, 5.5 years now. So what were the reasons that you didn't took this as your optional subject?
Question which I have actually answered at the very first moment in my Instagram account also, because address the queries of the aspirants. So I've even answered there, and I'll repeat here. First thing, optional is something that I've always say this in my talks and other things. Optional is something that is for an analogy, you can say it is like a marriage in the preparation of UPSC, because UPSC, we have to admit that preparation is very much tedious, stressful, long, and the success rate is very much less. So in this long preparation, you have to understand the dynamics of an examination. So here ultimately we have to clear the exam rather than mastering the subject which we take. So there are few considerations I have always given. There are four considerations which you have to consider while taking an optional. First thing, it should be the well versed and the inclination or orientation of an individual person towards an optional. So how much a person is interested in that optional. So here I wanted to again call for an attention that interest in an optional is different from familiarity with the optional. So I may be familiar with the biology when I was entering the veterinary sciences, and I may be familiar with the veterinary after completing the veterinary sciences, and I may be familiar with the poultry sciences if I have done poultry sciences. So familiarity is different from the interest. Interest is something that you have a ability to take up the subject at any point of the time in the day, and always have that interest to study it. So this should be your first consideration. If you are a person who is very much interested in the veterinary sciences, then you should go for the veterinary sciences, because it is all that your interest matters. As I have said, it is a marriage in a UPSC preparation, because it is like you have to spend with your spouse most of the time in your life. So in the same way, you get to study geography one day, polity one day, science and tech one day, and you also get to skip all these things at the same day. But optional should be something that you have to always take it parallelly with your preparation, irrespective of what is the subject you are doing or which is the test series you are doing. So this forms a very important step in the preparation. And second thing I could say, you have to understand the pattern of marking. So how is this subject faring in the market? So I should say you have to take an average marking pattern in the individual subject. Because if you take a subject which have taken anthropology, sociology, public administration, and PSIR, so these are the subjects which are mostly getting a very good marks. Public administration has actually lagged for last 2 to 4 years, but again it has picked up. So there are few optionals that always get good marks, and there are few optionals they will get good marks when a perfect demand is met. So I felt veterinary is such a subject, such a technical subject, where you cannot just write as what you get in your mind, or you can just write from the cumulative knowledge you have got, because it would give you a good marks, but it doesn't help you to land in a very good rank of getting into an all India services which you can be satisfied about. So that was my second consideration. Third consideration is very much of a pragmatic kind, because you have to also understand what is the number of materials available in the market, number of the test series available in the market, so that these things actually helps to understand how well we can prepare in terms of material, test series, a very good mentors. This is the third thing. Fourth thing I could say, you should also understand how much time you will be giving to an optional to complete it in a very short span of 3 months. There would be 100 days, I could say, to mostly 90 days between prelims and mains. Your optional should be of a such a kind that you should complete it in 7 days. When you come to a last stage of the preparation, there would be just 7 days where the entire optional should be completed. So you should always consider all these things. While I have considered these things with my half baked knowledge, I could say, because I have decided anthropology in my graduation itself. but somehow fortunately it has actually helped me to get a good rank, because optional actually gave me nearly 285 marks, which is a major leap forward for the for this rank. So I think these considerations can be considered, and I have always said I personally know many people who have taken veterinary sciences and cleared the exam, and I also know the people who didn't take the veterinary sciences and cleared the exam. And obviously I will say a veterinarian going to an interview would always be asked about the veterinary, because 70 to 80% of my interview went on the lines of veterinary. So veterinary graduation cannot be separated from a veterinarian. For that kind, optional can be taken differently. That is what I can say.